Hello everyone and welcome back. It's ChronicKloudz back with another video, and today we are reviewing the Tier 5 Japanese premium battleship Mutsu. We will give a brief history of the ship and have a look at the stats of the ship and the commander build. Now let's start with the history. Mutsu was laid down on June 1st, 1918 and was launched on the 31st of May in 1920. Mutsu was the second and the last Nagato-class dreadnought battleship built for the Imperial Japanese Navy at the end of World War I. In 1923, she carried supplies for the survivors of the Great Kanto earthquake. The ship was also modernized in 1934-36 with improvements to her armor and machinery and rebuilt superstructure in the pagoda mast style. Other than participating in the Battle of Midway and the Battle of the Eastern Solomons in 1942, where she didn't see any significant combat, Mutsu spent most of the first year in the Pacific War in training. She returned to Japan in early 1943. That June, one of her aft magazines detonated while she was at anchor, sinking the ship with the loss of 1,121 crew members and visitors alike. The IJN investigation into the cause of her loss included that it was the work of a disgruntled crew member, unfortunately. Now, let's go ahead and move over and take a look at the stats of the ship, and then we will have a look at the commander build before we get into the gameplay. Now, my opinion on Mutsu, she sits pretty good at health with 58,400. As for her guns, they are big. She has 8 410s, which can pretty much overmatch any bow at Tier 5. She has the average 30-second reload time as most Tier 5 battleships, and she also has a moderately slow traverse speed of her turrets. She has 2 single torpedo launchers on each side that reload every 22 seconds and travel slow up to 7.5 kilometers. And the angles of the tubes are not the best, but they're great for close quarters squabbles. Mutsu sits near the top of the pack when it comes to speed and rudder shift, and her concealment is about middle of the pack as it sits at 14 kilometers. Now let's go ahead and move over and have a look at the commander build that I'm running in this replay. As you can see, I'm running Takeo Takagi with Mr. Andrew Cunningham and Nicolai von Essen as my inspirations. As you see, I have Will to Rebuild. That's like a must nowadays. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into this gameplay, guys. To start this video out, I'm just gonna say that this isn't the highest damage number game that I could have gotten. I found the Mutsu to be inconsistent with how well it can be used. I'm not sure if it was me or if it was just the luck of the games that I was getting put in or what. But I just felt like the Mutsu, sometimes it would be really accurate, and other times it would be like shooting a shotgun. Maybe one shell at 8 kilometers would hit, and it's just an iffy ship. But at the same time, it's a very powerful ship. If you can get those guns to hit, they're gonna hurt, that's for sure. In this match, you see we have 2 destroyers, 3 cruisers, and 4 battleships on the enemy team. You definitely don't want to push up too far in the Mutsu early on. It's one of those ships that you're gonna have problems getting out of the situation you put yourself in. We have a glass and air that's coming over here. Luckily, we have a cruiser right here helping us. Not that we would need it, but it's nice to have anyway. We're just sitting here waiting on him to start turning so that way we can lead him into his turn and hopefully get a nice shot on him. But here we lead him and only get a couple penetrations. Not even a couple, just one. And it's actually an over penetration. And there goes his health. Looks like our cruiser is kicking his butt. That's nice to see. Good job, brother. The glass and air is just running away at this point. Let's just go ahead and lead him. See if we can't get him out of the game. We lead him just enough, but only one shell manages to touch him. And out comes another Mutsu on the enemy team. It's time to see what we can do to him broadside, because he is just showing us all of it. If you can look on the map, you can see I'm kind of broadside, but I'm giving him a slight angle. Probably should be angled a little bit better. But with it being the Mutsu, like I said, it may hit hard and it may not. So I'm taking a risk here. Let my shots go, and I get a decent little couple penetrations. I get 2 penetrations and 2 overpins for about 9,000 damage. If you notice, our destroyer that spawned with us on this side is like all the way pushed up. He's all the way up there, which he's doing a great job spotting. But he put himself in a lot of danger right here just to spot for us. But I do appreciate having his help up there spotting, because it would have been difficult to get shots off on these ships without his help. So I do appreciate that. He could have played it a little bit more passive and not pushed up so much, but he did what he had to do. As long as he stays alive, that's the main thing. Now at this point, we're trying to push in a little bit more so we can get a little closer to this Mutsu and Nuremberg to be able to effectively hit him. Because that range, like I said, the dispersion falls off bad on the ship. And as you see, we ended up getting a citadel on the side of that Mutsu. So the shells will citadel. They hit hard. They're pretty big shells, 410s. So like I said, they're gonna overmatch pretty much every bow in tier 5. Not pretty much. They're gonna overmatch it as long as they can hit it. That's the thing. Mutsu's kind of quartering us here, so we're gonna see if we can't get a penetration on him. Luckily we hit him for 5k about. But anyway, we're gonna switch our focus to the Nuremberg because we don't want AT spammers in the game. Even though they have the lower chance to set fires, they still will melt you. You gotta be careful. But we noticed the Nuremberg's just going back, kind of swinging and swinging, so we're gonna go ahead and help our destroyer out and get him out of the game. Hopefully the shots look good, and they are good. They go right through his deck and take him out. Now our destroyer can come up here and work on this Mutsu a little better without having someone from the other side of him shooting at him. It's all about helping your team. Alright, now we're gonna go ahead and push up since we have pretty much this whole side under control. And you see they only have 2 destroyers and 4 battleships left, including that Mutsu that we've been battling with. So pushing outside the side of this island right here, I noticed these 2 ships over here to my left. I definitely don't want to accidentally come out and give too much broadside to them, because I won't be having a very good day if I do that. We take a shot at that low health Baron, and yeah, he's back at port, which he didn't have much left in health anyway. We're keeping an eye on our right side as well, because we know Mutsu's pushing out, right? Okay, we know he's gonna push out. We got a King George in front of us. That's who we're trying to give the most angle to, and we're kind of just working off both sides of our ship here with our front turrets. I'm gonna go ahead and start turning towards this Mutsu and try to get him taken out. As you see, the King George lets one go as we're turning broadside, but thankfully he's shooting HE and only about 2 shells hit. And we have Mutsu at 11.5 kilometers out here, so we're gonna go ahead and let some shells go. And you see just how hard those shells can hit. The Mutsu's guns are beastly if they hit. That's the thing, if they hit. Overall, I feel like the Mutsu is a good ship. It's just, like I said, it's a 50-50 ship. You're either going to get really good at dispersion, or you're going to get shotgun dispersion. It's just, I wouldn't say it's as bad as like the Gneisenau or most of your German ships, but it's definitely not the best either. You see, out of all 8, I had 2 penetrations and 1 overpin, that's a decent little amount of shells, about half of them. But we're just gonna keep our nose pointed at this King George, give him as little angle as possible, and we're gonna keep shooting at our side. We notice the Baron starts to go behind the island, so you know, why not? Let's get up here and let's start trying to take shots at this King George here. And if you notice, that same destroyer on our team is still pushed way up there, but he's doing a great job. He's over here circling this King George, shooting torpedoes at him from the back, from the front. He's doing a great job. Actually, that wasn't him. That's another destroyer. The one that was helping us is right here next to us. Right here in this guide. Time to put our guns back on King George. We looked around to see if we could get another shot off on Baron. He's still a little bit behind the island, so let's let some of these go. And that's what I meant when I said the dispersion is 50-50. You look at how far away from me he is. He's 8.9 kilometers when I took that shot. He wasn't even moving. I aimed under his tower and I hit 1 shell. Out of all 8, at 8 kilometers, I aimed under the tower and hit 1. So that right there is the perfect example to show you how the dispersion can be on this ship. But then, you know, the next one, it might give you 4,000. But as you see, I only got 1 penetration. 3 of those shells ricochet, or 3 of those shells broke. But anyways, guys, that was the Mutsu. We ended the game with only, I believe, 98,000 damage, 90,000 damage. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Please subscribe and leave a like on the video. And until next time, guys, we will see you later.